Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Tamara, and today we are back with another fantasy series installment. We are finishing up the third book in the Dragonheart Legacy. If you would like to see this in video format, head on over to Patreon. You get to see our faces and no commercials. We also have an after show. We are diving into various book community drama, along with other after shows and exclusive content that you can watch right now. Don't forget, you can also join me and my two co-hosts over on the Book Clubs app for even more bookish chats. Please subscribe and like the podcast wherever you're listening. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me everywhere at Shelf Addiction. Joining me today is feature co-host Casey from Heart Full of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here today.
Woohoo! I'm ready to finish this. Are you?
Yes, so ready.
Tell everybody where they can find you online.
You can find me on Facebook at Heartful of Ink, on Instagram at Casey_Heartful of Ink, or on my website, heartfulofink.com.
Okay, so before we begin, as always, I'd like to remind you that with book chats, we talk full spoilers. Spoiler alert, you've been warned. Today we are discussing The Choice, written by Nora Roberts, narrated by Barry Krennic, published November 22nd, 2022 by St. Martin's Press and Macmillan Audio. The hardcover is 448 pages. The unabridged audio is 15 hours and 18 minutes.
Yes.
Casey, would you please share the synopsis?
The conclusion of the epic trilogy from the #1 New York Times best-selling author of The Awakening and The Becoming. Talish is a land of green hills, high mountains, deep forests, and seas where magics thrive, but portals allow for passages in and out, and ultimately each must choose their place and choose between good and evil, war and peace, life and death. Breen Siobhan Kelly was once unaware of her true nature. Now she is in Talish and trying to heal after a terrible battle and heartbreaking losses. Her grandfather, the dark god Odrin, has been defeated in his attempt to rule over Talish and over Breen for now. With the enemy cast out and the portal sealed, this is a time to rest and to prepare. Breen spreads her wings and realizes a power she's never experienced before. It's also a time for celebrations of her first Christmas in both Talish and Ireland, of solstice and weddings and births, and daring to find joy again in the wake of sorrow. She rededicates herself to writing her stories, and when his duties as Tisha permit, she is together with Keegan, who has trained her as a warrior and whom she has grown to love. It's Keegan who's at her side when the enemies, which is traitorous and power mad, appear to her in her sleep, practicing black magic, sacrificing the innocent, and plotting a brutal destruction for Breen. And soon, united with him and all of Talish, she will seek out those in desperate need of rescue and confront the darkness with every weapon she has, her sword, her magics, and her courage. Good Lord. That was wordy and unnecessary.
You know, much like this book in general,
Yes.
wordy and unnecessary. That really sums it up. It really does.
Yes, it does.
But we won't do that to you. We'll give you the long version. We'll give you the long version. So, high level, Casey, what did you think when you finished the book?
Thank God it's over. And also, are you fucking kidding me? We had the #1 romance author of all time give us a romance trilogy, and she waits until the freaking epilogue of the last book before they finally say I love you to each other.
And it wasn't even romantic.
No.
I'm like, the fuck
It was such
is this?
bullshit.
As the character herself said, that's bullshit. What is
Complete
this?
bullshit.
That's how I felt as well. I totally echo your feelings because I'm like, thank God this shit is over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, an epilogue. And I'm reading and I'm like, ew.
Yeah, no. They should have ended it at the battle. You did not need this epilogue.
Nora Roberts, you know how we just got finished saying that Rebecca Yarros wrote the man that we all want.
Yes.
She wrote a man from a woman's perspective that we want. Nora Roberts wrote the men how they are.
Yes.
She wrote Keegan as, oh God,
an asshole,
as stupid and idiotic as a lot of men that can't figure out how to do something romantic.
Never.
So
I gave you
that
the
is
earrings,
Keegan.
so we're engaged now. The fuck does that
Yeah.
mean?
You took the earrings in front of everybody. Did you not take them? And she's like, what?
What do earrings mean?
What a fiasco.
Ugh.
What a letdown. And I have said from day one with these two, the chemistry wasn't there.
Not at all. It was not
And
there.
3 books later, she didn't deliver the chemistry.
No, it's still, there's no chemistry between them. And I kept noticing that Breen would be like, oh, his quiet kindness. And I was like, this is not kindness, honey. I know you've been abused by your mother, but you've had enough people loving on you for the rest of your life that you should know that this is not kindness. This is not what you should hope for in a relationship. Like, this is the bare fucking minimum. Even that, he keeps tripping over the bar. Like,
it's bare minimum. Like, he is so not sexy. There's nothing about him. And that's my biggest gripe with this book. You are a romance writer. And hell, even in your thriller books, the guy in that book is sexy.
Yep.
This guy, no one should want him. Nobody.
No, he is like the worst book boyfriend ever.
Not good.
Not at all.
So I don't know what happened here. I don't know
either. I feel like somebody is pretending to be Nora and writing this book. Like, that's the only explanation I can come up with, because no.
Like, is it a bad ghostwriter?
Maybe.
Like, they tried and they failed?
Maybe. I don't know, because this does not read like Nora's stuff at all. This does not hit in a good way at all. And I'm just... Yeah, no, you can't have a 3-book series with the same couple in each book and then wait until literally the last page to say I love you.
She had to drag it out of him. Breen was like, if you can't give me the words.
And he was like, of course like, you have my love. I don't need to say it. No, bitch. You need to sit down and grovel now. If they had this fight like halfway through the book and then he groveled and did more romantic stuff, I would have been happier with that. No.
Yeah, and the author knew what she was doing because it was almost like the book was self-aware. Like, Bree knew that wasn't okay, and the author wrote it that way. So you wrote him in the most unromantic way you possibly could on purpose?
Yeah, and like he had that scene early on in the book where she came to him and he heard her voice say, I love you, and he was like, this is what I need. And I was like, okay, so now we're going to get some more romance between them. And no, he wouldn't even tell her in that moment. He was like, you just came to me and told me what I needed to hear, so... It's good. We're happy.
Like, was that real? Were you there? I mean, he did ask one time she came and they were like together, but another time he just assumed,
nope.
He didn't say anything.
I do not like, yeah, like there's no redeeming quality about him that I like.
Yeah, I don't like Keegan at all. Even when he talks about like, in the scenes, okay, I think it was chapter 6, I think, when they had the wedding and the freaking childbirth in the same.
So fucking long.
That I'm like, did we? Okay.
Why the hell did we need to see a live childbirth in this book?
We didn't. We got it twice. One miserable one and one happy one. We didn't need to see it either time. But during the birth, Keegan like says something like, I'm like leaving something. He like says something because he comes into the room and she's pushing this baby out and he's utterly disgusted.
I mean, it is his sister.
Was it his sister-in-law?
No, it's his sister, I think.
His sister. Yeah. Look, it's gross, but hold your tongue, man. Hold your tongue.
Yeah, no.
Everything about him is ew to me. Everything that comes out of his mouth is ew.
Everything.
So that's really bad. That's really bad to me if I can't care about the couple in the book at all.
Also, I know this was talked about and shown in the first 2 books, but for some reason in this book in particular, it really rubbed me the wrong way that his mother was his right hand. And she was the one doing all of the like basic political stuff and talking to people and, doling out, oh, we're going to split the sheep's whatever. Like, it's your mother. For some reason, like I kept going back to like, it's your mother who's doing this?
Yeah.
Your mother is your right hand?
It's like, honestly, it's like Keegan was this big oaf that couldn't show any emotion or... and it's weird because the only time he showed emotion, in my opinion, was when he was berating Bree about something. Like when he felt like, Bree is always trying to baby Marco.
I love that.
And
I take it back. That is my favorite scene in the entire trilogy. When he
like tells her
because she's treating Marco the way she has been treated her whole life. And she's like, I can't tell him. I don't want to stress him out. I'm just going to hide this big thing from him because he's my brother and I can't tell him anything. And, and he turns on her and he's like, what the fuck? You just got through telling me that you don't want to be seen as less than.
That just happened. But that just happened in book 2. So this is a repeat of the same scenario. And this character learned nothing.
She has not grown. She has not changed. No. She is still the same person we saw in chapter 4 of book 1 when she left her mother to go to Ireland. Like that.
Yeah, she's the same.
Beat her mother and then plateaued and nothing changed.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. But that is like one of the times I was saying, Keegan, he only shows emotion when he is berating her or, even when she does something he doesn't like how dare you go and try to save the world? Bitch, stay in your plane. I don't know. Anytime he is talking is so empty, except for when he's angry.
And that's not a good, healthy relationship.
No, okay, this scene pissed me off so bad. So they have sex in the pond or in the ocean or whatever. Yeah. She's like, people can see us. He brings in the mist. They have their little time and it's time to get out the water. She tells him to bring the mist because, hello, I'm naked. Yeah. He like, nah, you should be all right. She has to bring the mist on her own to cover herself. I'm like, you are an asshole. That's an asshole move.
Yes. Just because he's comfortable walking around naked and letting other people see him naked doesn't mean she's comfortable or that she should do it.
I want to know, does Nora Roberts full well know that's what she's done? Does she understand what she's done with this couple? Did she do this on purpose?
I honestly don't know, and it is stressing me out because this is fucking Nora Roberts. If you had ever asked me if Nora Roberts would write a hero like this, I would say with my whole chest, no, absolutely the fuck not. She would not do this. But now here we are, 3 books with this, and I'm just like, what? I'm a little scared. I'm a little nervous.
I mean, I gotta be honest. If this weren't the last book, I'd be throwing in the towel like that other series we stopped. Absolutely. I would have stopped. If this wasn't the end, I couldn't proceed. I like nothing about the main 2 characters. And I'm not of the I don't feel like I have to like all of the characters to enjoy the book.
But when it's the main characters... They're the main characters throughout the entire trilogy. Like, if they were just the first couple in book 1 and then we had a different couple in book 2, that would be great. But no, they're the main characters in the entire book, and they do not change. They do not show any chemistry. They do not show any kindness or real passion for each other. They're just bland and awful and don't give me any good feelings.
Honestly, they are very bland. I feel like the other couples in the book, in the background, the sub-characters, they had a more emotion in between their relationships. I mean, heck, even her grandmother, when Cedric dies...
Spoiler.
Okay, so, side note, I guessed that last time. I said, we were brainstorming, who could she possibly kill? And I'm like, oh, him.
Yeah.
And that's who died. So when he dies, I thought the grandmother was gonna like kind of be broken. She was for 2 seconds, and then she got up and took care of her business. And later she like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah. She's like, I'm
fine.
gonna be sad, but I'll feel his heart with
Yeah.
me, so I don't need to be pitied. I don't need to be coddled. I'm good.
Right.
And I'm like, if Breen had lost anybody, she would be dead on the floor. Like if Marco had actually died because he got injured, if he had actually died, she would have just died with him. She would have just lain down and died.
Died. Literally. I mean, she almost did, to the point where someone almost killed her because she's over him trying to heal him in a battle.
Like an idiot.
I'm like, pick him up and put him on a damn dragon. And, you know, she's sitting there, oh, I have to. And someone comes up and almost tries to off them until Keegan gets them. You know, I'm like, you could have been dead right now. But Breen makes the most idiotic choices, which is another problem of mine. I always say make it make sense. And she makes the dumbest decisions.
Yep.
And this point in the game, she should be trying to show her maturity.
Yep.
Not reverting back.
Yep. So I will say that I was impressed with her grandma's powers. Taking the witch's magic and then turning it back on her. But I was kind of like, why couldn't you do that sooner? Why couldn't you do that 30 years ago when Breen was taken as a child? Like, why couldn't you do that then?
Yeah. If she was that powerful, she could have taken care of her then. It's weird. Yeah. So speaking of power, though, this made me think about another part of the book that was unclear to me. When she was talking about the headpiece that she picked up out of the water.
She had a bracelet from the mermaids, I think so. And the headpiece was from the trolls.
No, the one that she was with her grandmother and they were looking and she's like, don't you see that in the water?
Oh,
and she said, I wore it. What was it? Was it a necklace?
I think it was the necklace. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, she got so many random things. It was like she was collecting a bunch of tokens or something.
Yeah, she was.
So with that situation, the grandmother said she promised, and I guess the choice was you give up your life for all of Talam and the people there, or you don't do that and you take the thing off and you lose all your power. Unless someone you love dies. I guess that's the caveat.
Yeah.
Because when her son died,
she was able to
take it off and put it back in the ocean or whatever. So I guess at that point, though, I'm like, okay, so if you had that strength before, and Bree later said that she felt those things were making her stronger, why didn't you kill them?
Exactly.
When you were wearing the jewelry, why didn't you kill them?
Exactly. You could have done it when Breen was taken. You could have done it when he was eating your child for the first time, however many 50, 60 years ago or whatever. Like, yeah, major plot holes. Also, that's a really nice caveat. Like, oh, you're going to have to die yourself or give up your powers, or somebody else can die and you can just give it up and still keep your powers and it's totally fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, no.
It was weird because the first thing I thought was, okay, so before it came out that the son was, I guess, the placeholder for that. I'm like, but how you still have powers? You're teaching her how. And then that line came up about losing her son.
I had the same thought. I was like, but you still have powers, so
yeah, like convenient.
Convenient, yeah.
So then Breen decides to put this on herself and take responsibility. And instantly in my mind, I'm like, great. So this character means that instantly she thinks she's going to have to die.
Yep. As soon as she got that, I was like, she's going to try and kill herself. And then I was like, would I be okay with that? Yeah, it might be a good, maybe a good ending. Maybe they can both die and be happy in the afterlife. But that is a big no-no for the romance genre. So I didn't think Nora Roberts was going to break the romance rules that bad.
But when it came down to her, okay, so just to kind of fast forward a little bit. So when Breen is, okay, let me go back. So the solstice day,
yeah,
or these 3 days, they're celebrating, they're having contests, they're having a good old time. Marco and his infinite baking, blah.
Let me just roll my eyes even harder.
Yes. And then the day of, they're expecting this to happen because this is the most powerful day. And of course, Odin would pick now and blah, blah, blah. Of course, all hell breaks loose as it does. And the first thing I can think is after she defeats her grandfather, why was that so easy? It seemed easy.
It was stupid easy. It was, oh my God, we're at the 95% point of the book. We need to wrap this up in literally 2 seconds. Wham, bam, thank you, man. He's dead and done. And nobody could have done this in the last several hundred years. But apparently Breen is just that magically special that she can do it in 2 seconds.
All you had to do was kill yourself, try to kill yourself, be rescued, and then use the T-Shock's thing to kill him. So, okay. I can't with this. I can't. Last month, we said, watch it be like the last little percent of the book.
And it was. And somebody in book club had read this and told us this happened. And knowing that, I was still really annoyed. I was just like, yeah, she waited until literally the last second to have this big final battle that she's been threatening since fucking book 1.
Yeah. Boo.
If she had condensed all 3 of these books down into just one story, I think it would have been a lot better. Spreading it out across 3 was ridiculous and awful.
Because the 3rd book was all Hallmark movie of the week. It was like the whole thing. Like from beginning to end, we had so much time doing mundane things that didn't matter.
But we have to see her schedules and how she writes and drinks coffee and watches the sunrise and everybody's happy and baking and we have to look at the flowers and the dog needs to run into the water and
50 million times.
Yes, exactly 50
and we
million
hear how
times.
she magically drives him 50 million times.
It was so boring and ridiculous. Really, she should have either gone and done a fantasy book or a cozy whatever book. Trying to combine the 2 really failed, and it was just more annoying than anything. And to be honest, like, I forgot there were dragons in these books. All of a sudden, the dragons are being attacked, and I went, wait, what dragons? I had to pause that to be like, did I suddenly start listening to Fourth Wing again?
Then Brian's dragon dies. I'm like, I don't even know what his dragon's name was. And then it came up. Yeah, I'm like, I don't.
But yeah, no, the dragons got attacked. And I went, what dragons? Who has dragons?
Who? What?
Who's dragons? What's happening? I'm so used to the mundane of like, I have to type on my laptop and write my stories and drink my coffee. And oh yeah, there's just dragons around, but the coffee and the stories are more important than dragons.
And I have to train and I have to make magics with my grandmother and hang out with my friends and drink a ton of wine. And
so much wine drinking. Oh my God. I feel like if I drank that amount of alcohol just in a single day, I would be dead.
Look, all of these people use magic to keep their liver alive because there's no way. There's no way
their livers are okay.
I feel like they don't drink water.
No, they don't. They do not. And when they got this apples out, they're like, yeah, we're making apple wine. I went, are you fucking kidding me?
How about somebody purify some drinking water?
Seriously.
Drink that. I don't know. It's a mess.
It's a hot mess.
Okay, I think now it's time. Let's take a quick break. You guys check out these commercials by listening to those you are supporting the podcast. Don't forget to check out the book review journal available right now. It makes a great Christmas gift.
Yes,
Amazon ships quickly. All right, we'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by the Shelf Addiction merch store. Check out all the bookish t-shirts, notebooks, mugs, and more. Don't miss out on these original designs, perfect for any book nerd. Support the podcast and visit shelfaddiction.com/merch and pick up your next favorite bookish item. All right, welcome back, guys. What else? I feel like there are so many things to complain about.
There really are. The writing and the publishing and all of that journey drives me absolutely bonkers because it's all so wrong.
Oh, wait. Since you brought the publishing up. So they're going to hip and skip their way right to New York. Just drop in real fast. Let's have meetings. I'm going to sell my book instantly. And Marco, guess what? You get a cooking book. Yay. Yay.
He doesn't even need to do an actual query. She's just going to hand it off to her agent, and her agent's just going to hand it off to somebody else, and bam, he has an agent now, which never, ever happens because you don't go to your agent and be like, hey, I know somebody who can write a book, because no, they don't want to hear about your friends. They have their own clients.
Especially Breen. She's no one.
Absolutely
it's not
nobody.
Like he is a Nepo baby and his father is someone ultra famous who can just say, hey, that's not the case. This is some random chick with a random book about dogs, YA book about dogs.
It should be a middle grade book about dogs.
It should be. That's what I was thinking. I said, YA, shouldn't it be middle grade?
No, it would be middle grade. It would not be YA. If you're writing about animals, that's for younger kids.
Right.
Middle school.
His adventure of the dog.
Yeah. No, middle grade, not YA. So.
Another mishap.
But
she doesn't have it.
Why the fuck are the marketing team already working on marketing her book that has not been edited? They've had it for just a couple months. She's probably still has to get the edits from her editor to start doing revisions. And they're already working with her to market the book. No, that doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
If you're a debut author,
no.
You're lucky if you get any marketing at all.
Right. And she's got huge signing bonuses for these books.
She's apparently real fucking rich. For no goddamn no reason. She's not a Nepo baby. She's just I wrote a book, and I was let me do everything we possibly can to get your marketing up before the ink is even dry on the contract.
Let's throw money at you left and right. So much money that the chick, when she figures out that she clearly is going to die now, she's like, let me start a foundation or a charity. I'm like,
really?
What
start a charity in 2 hours after talking to a lawyer and some money guy?
I have a feeling it takes a lot more than that.
That just felt so ridiculous and over the top and just the fuck?
What does this have to do with anything?
Literally nothing.
I don't understand. This is what I'm saying. We get everything and the kitchen sink. Everything.
And then nothing about the fucking dragons. Or the battle that takes 2 seconds to defeat this guy, this god who hasn't been defeated in centuries. Yeah. Are you kidding me? This is supposed to be fantasy?
Right. And then we get one scene. What's the girl's name? Shauna? Was it Shauna?
Yeah.
This this woman.
I feel bad for her at this point.
She was deceived 1000%.
I feel like he went in and actually fucked with her brain. Took out, did a lobotomy and took out part of her mind just to make her this crazy.
She went crazy. So what I think happened was, in this horrific childbirth of this baby that wasn't even
this demonic,
which he just flung into the damn fire like it was nothing. This demonic child that was not right, as they kept saying in the book. She's laughing and stuff after the woman wouldn't give her anything for the pain. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, I'll let you go off. If you kill Keegan, I'll give you this. Breen will be your servant. And as the author was writing this all out, I felt like I was reading that she was being manipulated. Like she thought she was at her strongest. She thought she looked great because he was giving her like a false mirror, right? Like of what she really was. And she gets to the real world and Keegan's like, the fuck happened to you? Like,
he's like, your hair is messy, your clothes are dirty.
He like, I feel a little bad for you, but if you try to kill me, I'm gonna have to take you out. I mean, basically. But I'm like, what was all of that? I feel like it was kind of almost not, it wasn't written as well as it could have been to give me the impact that I thought I wanted.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, okay, I want this to be this battle. Instead, she's like limping along like an old broken old lady.
And then, she thinks she's super fast and runs up a tree. And he's like, does she think I don't see her?
I know. Like she's...
It was so weird. After she was so incredible in book 2 and hiding for days and nobody could ever find her and like super powerful. And now she's just this crazy thing.
Yeah, she's a thing. She's not even
she's
herself.
Not herself at all. She's not even the evil self who was able to sneak back into the castle, palace, whatever, and almost kill Breen at the party. Like,
I don't know. I don't understand what the author was trying to do with that character. It was wasteful. Like so many of the things that was going on was just a bunch of just words. It was all for nothing.
Unnecessary words. Again, like if this had been one book, this whole story arc had been condensed down into one book, and we cut out all the unnecessary bullshit, it would have been good. But spread across 3 books, it's boring and it's pointless and just like, what is even happening?
So Casey, when I messaged you, I sent Casey a text like, WTF, dude. Like, why did I think this was going to get better? I thought it would.
Because it's Nora Roberts. And I had that hope too, because it's Nora fucking Roberts. I never would have expected it to be this bad.
Look, at the point where I text you, I didn't want to say this is so freaking boring. I'm about to lose it. But I was like, what am I reading? What is this? Why? I was so tired.
Yeah, no, I listened to the audiobook. I was listening to it at 1.85 speed. Just because with the accents, I couldn't do it at 2.0. Like, I needed just that little bit of breath between the accent. But I fell asleep while listening to it. Like, I literally fell asleep and went, what the fuck did I miss? Not much, but like, it was so boring that I fell asleep.
When I was listening at work, I had to stop because I felt it was so counterproductive because I kept having to hit rewind. And after I do that for a half an hour, I'm like, this is a waste of my time. I might as well just wait until I can't do anything else. So every time I was driving, I was listening because I could not do anything else. I couldn't touch my phone. I couldn't look at a computer. I couldn't do anything but listen. And I too fell asleep when I was reading. I fell asleep. I'm like, what is this? I don't like it.
It was boring. It was awful. It was annoying and disappointing. And like, there's a book with dragons in it, and I forgot the dragons existed. And that is the biggest red flag.
It's called Dragon Heart Legacy.
And I literally forgot the dragons existed.
The dragons were such a minor character. They were an afterthought. They were transportation. These dragons were transportation to carry the people back and forth between the towns and the city, and Breen for her dog to surf on the dragon.
That was it.
I swear.
That was it. That was like their only purpose in the entire books. I had as
Yeah.
an emotional connection to them as I have to a car. Like, even when they were
No, I
dying and
felt
the
nothing.
babies were dying and she was trying to heal everybody, I was like, I don't care.
I don't
And
care.
then Brian's dragon died, and I was like, who is his dragon? Who is it?
Exactly. I'm like, what's his dragon's name? I knew nothing.
Nothing. It was boring.
It was very boring. I haven't read a book this boring. And I mean, okay, so I feel like even if I hadn't come off of reading something that I really liked, I still would have found this bad.
Oh yeah. Even if we had not read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame and like hadn't read anything about dragons recently, this would have been so bad. This is right up there with Rachel Vincent. Like, I don't know which one is worse.
They're equally bad. I put them on equal footing because, like I said, we read 3 books of that before we gave up.
I will say, though, that Rachel Vincent had more action and was a little bit more exciting. Like, it was terrible, but she wasn't sitting around talking about her routines and drinking coffee at the sunrise and writing her stories. Like, there was some action.
Yeah.
There was a lot of terrible stuff in the trilogy that we quit, but it was...
Yeah, wasn't it 6 books?
Yeah.
Wait, it was 6 books, but we only finished the first 3 before we threw the towel in. And like with this one, like I mentioned at the top of the hour, if this had been 3 in a series, it also would have been cut off at the knees.
Oh yeah,
it wouldn't have happened.
I barely made it through this one, and my only hope was like, this is it. This is the final book. After this, we're done. No more.
So I have to say, like, the minute I finished this book, I was like, oh my God, thank God it's over. I can read something I want to read now.
That relief of it being over should only be reserved for books you're being forced to read in high school. Right? Like, you should not feel that happy for a book to be done.
No. And I actually like cringe. So like, even when I think of other things that made me cringe in this book, all the random pop culture references that were tossed in.
Oh my God. Okay. So first of all, quick apology to everybody. In the second book, I got really like, oh my God, he said fit. Nobody has said fit since 2008. Well, I went on the internet because I'm an old lady, and apparently people are saying fit again. So it is.
Okay.
It's a thing again. Everything from my high school days is a thing again.
Okay. That missed my TikTok feed. So I
was like,
sorry, y'all.
But oh my fucking God. Yes, the random, oh, he's just like Marvel. Oh, he's just like The Walking Dead. It was like, did somebody just give you the green light to like suddenly mention pop culture? Like,
yeah. I'm like, The Walking Dead. What
the slay?
And more tea was spilt over and over. Tea
Spill
all
the
day. The tea
oh,
was
girl,
spilt.
Let's spill the tea. At least nobody was pulling on Marco's braids this book, but like, good fucking Lord.
They weren't doing that, but they were sure telling us how gorgeous he is incessantly, nonstop.
Him and those gorgeous braids. You gotta make me gorgeous for my wedding. You know how to do braids, so braid my hair, you gorgeous man.
Braid my hair.
Oh my
braid
God.
my hair and cook my food for my wedding.
Oh my God.
Crack the whip.
My girl, my Breen, my special girl. Jesus Christ.
I mean, honestly, if even one of those characters would have told me what makes Marco so gorgeous, other than his braids.
It's just his braids.
That would have made. I mean, is it the gold flecks in his brown eyes?
No, it's his braids.
Or does he have light hazel eyes? Or, does he have pristine white teeth and a gorgeous smile?
Does he have a hot ass? Does he have legs for days? Ripped? Does he have strong arm muscles because he plays instruments and cooks all the time?
Right. Come on.
No, it's his braids.
You're going to constantly, incessantly be complimenting how great someone looks and you can't tell me how?
Yeah.
Not once?
Nope, it was just his
Other
braids.
than braids?
His braids were too pretty.
But his braids were pretty, but that doesn't make him gorgeous. Everyone keeps saying how gorgeous he is, how beautiful he is. What happens if he takes out the braids? Is he not hot anymore?
Apparently not, because it's always the braids. That's literally all anybody mentioned about him was his braids.
I can't. I mean, heck, even him and Brian were kind of like, okay, I kind of liked it, but I felt like even I wanted more, just more.
It was very bland. It was very basic. Yeah. It was very, we need somebody happy, and it's saying I love you because the main characters won't do it.
Oh, and you know what? You want to be with, Brian? That's great. How about you just stay with me? Oh, we'll build a house on my property with magic, and it'll be done tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And,
Yes. I cannot. They have the absolute worst, most codependent, god-awful relationship. They need intense therapy. They need separate lives. They need to live in different places. Like, good fucking Lord.
Absolutely.
We ripped on him in one of the previous podcasts because he kept supporting Breen's mother. She'd be like, my mom's so terrible. And he'd be like, yeah, but she supported me, so I like her. And then Breen does the exact same thing to him. She's like, his mother hates him because he's gay, but I still love her, so I'm going to go talk to her.
She's okay. Maybe I'll try to.
She makes good cake, and I like her, so I'm going to go talk to her. And I'm like, that's not at all what he wants in his life.
No. Like, why would you disrespect him by going behind his back like that? But she's good for disrespecting him all throughout this book. So,
she does not respect him at all as a person, as a man, as a friend, as a brother.
Nope.
She treats him like shit. She treats him the way she hates other people treating her, but she's justified because it's her.
Marco, cook me dinner. Cook us dinner. Bake some cakes and trade them with the trolls. Marco, write my blog post and take these photos. Marco, write a cookbook because I said it's good for you. I'm telling you.
No, they need to divorce each other and go in separate ways. Maybe come back together in 5 years, but or not. Maybe once he gets out from underneath her, he'll realize he can have much better friendships in his life.
But unfortunately for him, he's marrying a fae, so he will always be right there next to Talif. Yeah, and it's her cousin.
He's stuck.
He is forever entwined with her, and I guess they'll live happily ever after next door to each other on the same property.
He deserves so much better. Literally anybody would be a better friend to him than she is.
Yeah, and now also Sally can come.
Oh, yay.
With the husband. And guess what? No problem. I want to tell Sally. Okay. No problem.
Yeah, you can tell humans all you want. We can tell all the humans, except it has to be a big secret that no human can ever know.
Right.
What?
But we're good. We're good with them because, that's your mom.
That's the mom of your
family.
Heart. It's fine. She can come.
Yeah,
you're all
no
good.
problem.
What bullshit.
Ugh.
What absolute world building bullshit.
Everything was just, I don't know. It's like she tried so hard to tie up every loose end with a bow, a nice tidy bow, and just I need this to happen. Okay, we'll make it happen. No problem. We don't have to explain it.
No
we don't have to rationalize it.
There is no obstacle. There is no pain. There is nothing wrong or bad anywhere at any time. Everything is perfect.
Low stakes.
Except being an archer, but whatever. Who cares? Once she realizes she can use magic, she's perfect at it.
She's like, all I have to do is use magic and I hit the bullseye every time. Yay!
He's like, that's not how it works.
He is like, what?
I was really hoping that in the battle she would lose her magic and have to be an archer and realize, he was right. I can't always rely on my magic. Sometimes I have to just have the inherent skill. But no.
But that didn't matter.
She could use her magic. It was fine.
it was like a bunch of, what is the plot holes to nowhere. Like you have these plots that just go off into nowhere. That means nothing, has no weight on anything.
Yeah, there's nothing that means anything, really.
No.
Again, if she had just written a cozy story about a woman who wanted to break free from her mother and move to Ireland and write some stories and be happy, like that would have been fine. For what it is, that would have been okay. If she wanted to write a fantasy adventure with dragons and the Fey world and traveling back and forth and put in a lot more action and violence and, problems to solve and had actual battles that lasted more than 2 seconds, that would have been a good story too. But trying to combine the two just failed.
I think, honestly, I really think that the author should just stop trying to write this type of thing.
Yeah.
She did it before. She was successful with the whole year one trilogy. She did it. That was years old. That's not new. Maybe this isn't her wheelhouse. Maybe traditional romance is her wheelhouse. Obviously, she's still writing those J.D. Robb books. Maybe fantasy romance
fantasy
isn't it.
It is not her strong suit. It is not. This trilogy is not anything I would ever recommend to anybody.
No, because we know we read so many of these now, what's called romanticises, I guess. We read so many in this genre. We know very well you can have a bullheaded, hard-headed man, alpha hole that turns to mush when it comes to that woman. He flips the script and we see something different from him when it comes to her. This guy was treating her like
trash. And if you want enemies to lovers, if you want them to be grumpy sunshine, that can work too. But he can't be an absolute asshole. And then she tells us, oh, he's actually like so subtly kind. And it's his kindness that
deep
I really
down
love. And I'm like, this is not kindness.
His quiet kindness or whatever.
That's bullshit. That's an abused woman who's making excuses for her abuser.
Yeah, it does sound like that. It sounds like that. Like, oh, he's not that bad.
Not that bad. He's
doing
this little quiet thing, and that's just proof that he's a good man for me. Like, no, baby, you need to run away from that man.
I cannot. Okay. Should we rate it?
Let's rate it.
I don't know anything else to say, honestly.
Well, there was that crazy witch lady. She was kind of fun for about 2 seconds, and then she disappeared and nobody ever talked about her again.
The woman who can't make good cookies or biscuits or whatever.
Cats, and she had that really awesome one-night stand 100 years ago.
God, with Keegan's like
great grandfather or something.
Look, no offense to the cat ladies of the world, but I wouldn't be eating anything she made.
The cat hair alone would kill you, whether it was edible or not.
No, thank you. You know what, ma'am? I just ate right before I got here.
Thanks, but no thanks. Don't want it.
And everybody else was like, why didn't you bring her some? And then you could just eat those.
She was fun, but didn't ultimately matter at all. And then we forgot about her and nobody cared.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing really matters.
Nothing matters at all. It was more just like, how can we expand this world even more and bring in more characters and more drama for the moment? And she was one of the funnier side characters, but oh my god, there were way too many side quests and side characters, and it was all so annoying. And
I agree.
Okay, let's stop complaining.
After almost an hour of complaining, I swear sometimes it just happens that way. Sometimes it's just required.
Yes.
It's required.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and rate the choice. Let's go ahead and rate it. Casey, you first.
I'm going to be generous and give it 2 stars. I can't. There's nothing good about it.
I also will be generous with 2 stars. I feel like I don't want to give it a 1 star because
like the writing style itself is
yeah,
somewhat decent. Like we've read things with worse sentences, but the overall story is terrible.
right. The story itself is bad.
Yeah.
And I do not recommend at all.
I might recommend it in teaching how not to write. But
You want an example of what not to do?
Like, here, read this story and tell me how you would fix it. And then that teaches so much about writing in and of itself.
Okay, that's fair.
So that would be the only reason why I would ever recommend it to anybody.
I wouldn't recommend it even for that. I'm like, that's real torture. I mean, my God.
It's bad, but yeah.
Ugh. All right, so we're going to end it there. So we are going to start a new series in January. So you'll definitely want to be a part of the book clubs group or on Patreon, because I'm going to reveal that before the end of November in Patreon.
Ooh.
They will know early so they can start booking their stuff at their libraries and ordering
for holiday gifts. Be like, give me this trilogy.
Patreon will know in November, and the book clubs people will know, I think, a couple weeks after that.
Awesome.
And everyone else will get the announcements the week of New Year's, I guess. So if you're not following anywhere, I guess you'll just see us at the end of January with a surprise because you won't know. So join us. Join us on the Book Clubs app or on Patreon. It's as little as $2 a month. You get to check out all the backlog of videos, and there are hours on top of hours on top of hours.
Because we have fun.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. We've been doing this for a long time, so you could just spend your holiday with Tamara, Casey, and Classy.
What a great way to spend your holiday.
Yes. Drink some wine and watch us, put us on your TV screen. There we go. Anyway, okay, we're going to end things there. You guys, let's see. Will this go up after Thanksgiving? I think it will. But happy holidays if you don't listen to anything else but the fantasy series. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yes.
Happy reading. I hope you read something good on your vacation.
Yes,
Better than
me
this.
too. Yes, we will be back next month, though. We are going to do a wrap-up of our year. So don't forget to subscribe, like the podcast, share it with your other bookish friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves. Happy holidays. Bye, guys. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review, or like this episode on your favorite podcast player. It seems so simple, but it really helps me out. You can share this podcast with other book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. You can also join the Shelf Addiction Patreon family. For as little as $2 a month, you will help us produce even more awesome content for your ears. You can also consider joining the Shelf Addiction official Facebook group, where we talk all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven network. You can also reach us via email at info@shelfaddiction.com. Thank you for listening.